Oh, hello there, sire. You came at just the perfect time. I've just finished up some new experiments to show you.
I am excited to see them as always, Seller.
Great. Now, I did some more research into your childhood, I hope you don't mind, and apparently you were a fan of something called Disney princess movies?
What? No, I wasn't. I don't.
Relax. I'm here to help you enact your slow demise of the multiverse, not to judge your mortal pastimes. Now, as I understand it, many universes that exist in the multiverse also exist as fictional forms of entertainment in your universe. So, I found a few of these Disney princesses and performed some cruel and inhumane experiments on them.
That sounds horrible. I love it.
I knew you would. Now, first, to celebrate an art challenge known as Mermaid, I decided to alter a version of Ariel from The Little Mermaid.
But it's June.
Well, maybe in your universe it is, but in this universe, it is still May.
No, I checked your international calendar. It's June.
Shut up. Anyway, I found her universe and decided to test something. You see, I've been playing around with these fun little symbiotes from universe M16. They basically latch onto a living life form and bond with it, making it stronger, angrier, and, well, gooier. So I threw one of these into the universe and sat back and watched the events play out. This happened during the wedding scene, where the 16-year-old Ariel and the adult man that she hadn't even had a conversation with yet are sailing off into the sunset. I threw in the symbiote and immediately latched onto her. The symbiote turned her into a vicious mermaid-like form, though one that could grow legs and walk around on land. It also had black goop covering its body, razor-sharp teeth and claws, and spikes covering her body. The symbiote bond took on the name Siren, and immediately began attacking and eating everyone on board.
Why was the symbiote called Siren? Sirens aren't mermaids, they're human bird things.
I feel as if you're focusing on the wrong part of the story. Anyway, eventually, Triton himself had to deal with her. However, he couldn't bring himself to end his own daughter, and ended up losing the battle. Once Triton was dead, Siren took his trident, and control over the entire ocean. Once that happened, the universe was essentially screwed, and the Multiversal Intervention Agency, or the MIA, forced it to reboot itself. But not before I got this beauty out of it. And then once the reboot happened, people in your universe got really mad for some reason.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Works for me. Anyway, let's move on to our next one. A good old fusion. Do you recall a few months ago when I fused a bunch of light-hearted cartoon characters with horror villains?
Yes, I remember well. Those fusions will all eventually make great assets to our multiversal army.
Well, most of these fusions are kinda dead. Some amazing digital Power Rangers came in and killed them all.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Agreed, which is why I decided to try another one. So I ended up fusing Snow White with Samara Morgan from The Ring. Basically, years ago, Samara White's father married the evil queen, then died.
Grimhild.
I beg your pardon?
Canonically, the evil queen's real name is Grimhild.
Okay, now I am beginning to judge your mortal pastimes. Anyway, Grimhild was a very vain woman who would constantly ask her magic mirror who was fairest of them all, expecting it to answer that it was her. However, one morning she asked, and it answered Samara White. This angered Grimhild, who immediately ordered her huntsman to murder Samara, to which he obliged. He found Samara singing outside her favorite wishing well, tied a bag over her head, and threw her in. Samara, scared and confused, then slowly starved to death over the next 7 days. However, death wouldn't take her. A week after killing Samara, the evil queen attempted to ask her mirror once again who was fairest of them all. However, it would simply reply with 7 days. For the next 7 days, the queen became more and more anxious, as she saw various signs that something was wrong. Her face in the mirror began to blur, and she began having strange nightmares. And one time, a random horse tried to kill her. Anyway, finally, the 7th day came. She tried to ask her mirror the question, but all that showed up was an image of the wishing well where Samara had drowned. Suddenly, Samara herself began to crawl from the well, and then from the mirror itself, before finally killing the queen. Now, whoever says, "Magic mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all," in front of a mirror, will be cursed to die in 7 days. That is, unless they say that very same phrase to someone else.
You mean like you just did? Seller, did you curse me?
Okay, I had to experiment with the fusion somehow. You might want to...
Yeah, I'll get rid of it later.
Next fusion. So for this one, I decided to do something a bit different. So, do you know how you're just going about your day, and then you just have a random thought? Well, that happened to me, and I wondered, you know what would be really cool? Fusing Belle from Beauty and the Beast with Harley Quinn. And so, I did. In fact, I fused their whole universe together.
Interesting. Do tell.
Belle Quinzel was a smart young girl, whose father was a genius inventor. Unfortunately, her father had also gotten in with the wrong crowd, and had been making a living selling weapons and gadgets to a notorious crime boss, the beastly Joker. Once a successful comedian named Adam Fleck, Adam let his fame and success go to his head. One day, he accidentally ticked off the wrong old lady, who just so happened to be in the possession of a strange chemical. The woman, enraged, splashed this chemical all over Adam, transforming him into an insane and hideous beast. However, he embraced this change, and used his new physical form to climb the ranks of the criminal underworld. Anyway, back to Belle's father. He had been making weapons and gadgets for the beastly Joker. However, one day, one of his gadgets malfunctioned. Enraged, the beastly Joker tracked him down and was about to kill him when Belle entered the room. Belle offered her life in her father's place, to which the beastly Joker agreed. Over the next few months, the beastly Joker broke Belle down, until she was nothing but a shell of her former self. A once brilliant young woman, now twisted into the beast's demented sidekick and lover.
I see. Do you have this beastly Joker also in containment?
Of course. I wouldn't pass down the opportunity to use that thing. It's right in that containment cell over there.
Great. Magic mirror on the wall. Who was fairest of them all?
Sire, why did you just curse him to die in 7 days? He could have been a huge asset.
No one who treats another human being with that much disdain and abuse deserves to be aligned with us. I may be an evil megalomaniac, but I have standards. In the meantime, please kidnap a therapist and get Belle the help she needs. She can still be a part of our multiversal army, but she needs to be helped first.
I am not entirely sure if I agree with you, but fine. Anyway, I have one last experiment for today. Have you ever heard of the game Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes, of course I've heard of D&D.
Well, as it turns out, not only does a D&D dimension exist, but every time someone in another dimension plays it, the events from their game takes place within the universe. Recently, I have also seen a trend of people recreating fictional characters in D&D games, so I decided to do the same thing.
I'm assuming you're keeping with the Disney princess theme?
Of course. So I started playing as a cleric with a noble background. She was the daughter of a chief of an isolated tribe that, little to their knowledge, was under an attack by a dark curse. My cleric was chosen by their patron, who is a water deity, and their quest is to return a stolen artifact from an enraged deity. She is also accompanied by a loyal but dim-witted werecockle.
Okay, I see where this is going. Does she end up having to free a trapped trickster demigod?
Who himself has a lost artifact that was stolen by a giant crab.
And after retrieving the artifact, you and your companions go on a brief training montage before attacking a lava deity.
An attack that we fail at, the demigod abandons me, and, after a brief pep talk from the ghost of my ancestors, I come up with a new plan to attack the lava deity.
And then, after the demigod returns, you realize the lava deity was the deity you were looking to return the artifact to anyways?
Yes, exactly.
You are literally just playing Moana.